Oh my God. Oh my, watch out guys, car's coming, car's coming. Please keep your speed safe. Please, dear God. Listen! Very large and deadly tornado. Kevin, get the pictures, man. I'm getting the video. I've never heard roar like that before. Oh my God, it's gonna go just to our north.
One of the most powerful storms ever recorded. It is battering the Philippines this morning. Typhoon Haiyan is packing winds well over 200 miles an hour.
At least 4 people are dead, and Seth Doan is tracking developments from Beijing this morning. Seth, good morning.
Good morning to you, Jeff, and to Nora. This super typhoon is massive, a Category 5 storm. Earlier today, authorities in the Philippines said more than 12 million people were in its path.
A natural disaster of massive proportions there. The death toll stands at 3 going into the night after widespread flooding. It has knocked out power, closed roads, forcing hundreds of people to move to higher ground. The worst of it has been centered around Boulder. NBC's Miguel Almaguer is there for us tonight. Miguel, good evening.
Brian, good evening. We have had steady, if not pounding rain all day long in Boulder. That is not a river behind me, it's a road. The National Guard has been called in after lives were lost. This entire region in a state of emergency.
Flash flooding is imminent.
A day of chaos and confusion as torrential rain pounds Boulder, washing away homes, cars, and causing at least 3 deaths.
They may not let you go back up that far.
With thousands forced to evacuate, many were trapped by washed-out roads.
Hawaii is bracing for impact. Look at those islands, about to be overwhelmed by Flossie. Maui, Oahu, Honolulu, all in the crosshairs tonight, the first direct hit in 20 years. An emergency has been declared. Officials warning the night could bring mudslides, floods, even tornadoes, after much of the rest of the country was already soaked by a weekend of rain and flash floods. Our extreme weather team is tracking it all, and ABC's Neil Karlinski starts us off from Hawaii.
Tonight, America's island paradise is under a rare assault from Mother Nature. Tropical storm Flossie bearing down on the Big Island first before moving west across the Hawaiian Islands could bring up to a foot of rain.
The pounding surf has already arrived on the Big Island and it's headed towards Maui.
While some residents are stocking up on supplies, Saul Rollison is worried about flash flooding. His home sits on a razor's edge above the ocean, which is why he's trying to keep his property from getting soaked and sliding away.
Is this going to be the kind of night where you sleep with one eye open?
I'm going to probably not sleep at all.
Most Pacific storms fade long before striking the islands, but in 1992, Hurricane Iniki left nearly $2 billion in damage and 7 deaths in its wake. Flossie won't be nearly that bad, but preparations are underway.
Fire Captain George Nunez, we met him just about half an hour ago. He's a captain with CAL FIRE, and thanks for taking a minute out to join us. First things first, factually, we have a little bit of tape. Just about half an hour ago, we saw a flare-up back there. We see charred ground right beside us, but greenery, and they call it a dirty burn. Why that flare-up, and what's that mean?
What it is the relative humidity came in last night when we listened.
Matt Sampson here with hurricane specialist Carl Parker. Carl, the 2013 hurricane season is behind us now. I want to talk a little bit about what happened and maybe even more interestingly, what didn't happen.
Yeah, you know, it was a generally very quiet season in the U.S. There was a lot of impact in Mexico. They had terrible flooding there.
Mudslides, and many people died.
A lot of people died, but we only had one landfalling tropical storm. That was Andrea.
Amazing time-lapse video. In just a few hours, you can see the incredible dump of snow in Hamden, Connecticut.
A system of thunderstorms expected to bring winds up to 75 miles per hour and powerful tornadoes.
Let's go now to Jim Cantori, who's in Dallas. And Jim, how difficult was it for you to get to your live shot this morning?
You know what, Al? We actually lucked out. We planned ahead yesterday. We sought out this location here at the Hyatt.
I want to get right to the nasty weather covering much of America this morning. There's the monster ice storm that caused death, damage, and delay in the middle of the country, and now a new storm brewing in the northwest. At least 12 dead thus far, and it's not over yet. ABC's meteorologist Ginger Z is, of course, on the story. Hey, Ginger, good morning.
Hey there, Dan. You know, so many folks spent their week looking like this, their Thursday, Friday. This picture from Dallas, but once we got rid of that ice, it kind of squeezed together. It was a lot of snow.